Today I fucked up by accidentally convincing my entire office I'm a parkour expert. This didn't happen today, but about 3 weeks ago, and I'm still dealing with it. So I work in a pretty standard office building, 3rd floor. There's this loading dock area in the back that has these concrete barriers, maybe waist height. I go out there sometimes on my lunch break to make calls cause the reception is better. Last month I'm out there on the phone with my mom, just pacing around. I lean against one of these barriers, and my phone slips out of my hand. Without thinking, I do this weird, awkward hop over the barrier to catch it before it hits the ground on the other side. I catch it mid-air, land kind of gracefully by pure accident. I look up, and there's like 4 people from accounting smoking by the door. They all start clapping. I'm confused, but I just wave and go back inside. Next day, my coworker Sarah comes up to me like, "Dude, I didn't know you did parkour." I'm like, "What?" Apparently someone recorded me and put it in the office group chat with the caption, "Didn't know we had a ninja on the 3rd floor LMAO." I should have corrected this immediately. I didn't. Fast forward a bit, and now people keep bringing it up. I just kind of laugh it off, but never actually deny it. Then last week my manager asks if I'd be interested in participating in the company wellness challenge. It's this whole thing where departments compete in different activities. He suggests I do the obstacle course portion. Says it'd be perfect for someone with my skills. I panic and say yes. The event is this Saturday. I've been watching YouTube tutorials all week. I tried practicing at a local park yesterday and pulled something in my shoulder trying to vault over a bench. My wife thinks this is the funniest thing that's ever happened and refuses to help me come up with an excuse. I'm gonna have to do this in front of like 200 people from my company. I can't fake an injury cause I already told too many people I was excited about it. Too long did not read. Accidentally caught my phone in a way that looked cool. Office thinks I do parkour. Now I have to compete in an obstacle course this weekend, and I'm gonna embarrass myself in front of everyone. Gonna be like. GIF, Giphy T2 EBR 71 ACDC 0. Opie, this is incredible. Please post an update after Saturday. I need to know how this goes. Also pro tip, if you bail early, just commit to a dramatic fall and play it off like you tweaked your ankle on the first obstacle. Everyone will feel bad for you instead of laughing at you. You're welcome. So you claim someone was recording you for no good reason as you were talking to your mom on the phone? Update. Someone just sent me the course layout. There's something called a salmon ladder. I had to Google what that even is. I'm so screwed. GIF, Giphy DSNY 94L0 or 8xJ90M. AI slop post. Today I fucked up by implying my friend's husband was cheating on her because of his work trip. This happened last night, so not exactly today, but I still feel the repercussions of it and am bored at work, so here goes. I, 29M, was having dinner with a small group of friends and were catching up on each other's lives in general. That's when my friend Lena, not her real name, casually mentioned that her husband had just gotten back from a week-long work trip to Thailand. Now look, I studied international relations. I read the news. I have Reddit. For fuck's sake, I have the internet. My brain, completely unprompted and unfiltered, went, "Oh wow, Thailand? Isn't that a huge sex tourism hotspot?" Lena, poor soul, sort of froze mid-eating, and everyone else went silent. Catching on to the implication, I fucking cannonballed into this conversation without thinkingly clearly. Sort of panicking, I immediately tried to backpedal by saying that I didn't mean he was doing that, and that I just meant that's what it's sometimes known for. But obviously not him. He's great. Very faithful. And not that I assume everyone's cheating. Lena just gave me a tight smile and said that he was there for a logistics conference, which somehow made it sound 10 times more suspicious. And now I think I've planted a horrible seed of doubt in her head that her husband is out there doing logistically organized adultery. Another friend, as terrible as reading the room, as any maybe thought the awkwardness was because what I said was factually inaccurate, and reiterates what I said by saying that he saw a documentary about that, and that there are whole districts just full of brothels. I ended up quietly excusing myself early, and have been spiraling in shame ever since. I texted Lena this morning to apologize, and she just said, "LOL, it's fine, but I do still regret it." Anyway, today I learned that just because your brain hands you a fun fact, it does not mean you need to say it out loud. Too long did not read. Told my friend her husband's work trip was to a sex tourism hotspot. Accidentally implied he might be cheating. Feel guilty as fuck. Lena's definitely not inviting you round for dinner when he has a work trip to Colombia. This is a fuck up indeed. It also adds a second fuck up. You can never tell your friends you're going to Thailand because you're going for sex tourism only. ETA, I am being 100% genuine, no sarcasm. I work in the logistics industry. Can confirm that there was a conference there a couple of weeks ago. The logistics industry has a lot of conferences in all parts of the world. Nothing weird about it. Now I think I've planted a horrible seed of doubt in her head that her husband is out there doing. It's funny that this was your takeaway from this situation. It seems you have overdosed on the internet a bit indeed. Everybody was silent and looking funny at you because you were rude and said something stupid that you aren't supposed to. Nobody's suspecting their spouse of anything because a socially inept person said something offensive. Imagine being from a beautiful country with lush history and cool historical architecture in a lot of places, with some of the best food in the world, and when people say they're going to your country, someone just says, "Oh, sex tourism." That shit would bum me out. I'm always curious why people feel the need to explain why they are writing the story. I'm bored at X, why do you feel the need to justify your writing? I see it a lot. Today I fucked up by finishing a bottle of wine. Last night my friend, 28M, and I, 27F, had dinner with our co-worker and his wife, 35M and F. We had been making up excuses to not do so for a while, and must have finally ran out. My co-worker is a nice guy, but is very overshare why about his very hot and cold relationship with his wife, who we had never met, and we didn't really want the office dinner party episode situation, but we decided to just do it. I want to preface this by saying even though this was a weird and bad experience, and they are not a good couple, at no point did we get DV vibes, and I grew up in a DV household, so I'm sensitive to it. So we get to their apartment, which is very small and dingy, in not a great area. We were surprised by this because we all make pretty good money, and know his wife does as well. We knock on the door and hear his wife saying something like, "Did you invite people over?" So not off to a great start. He lets us in and his wife immediately says, "I'm making pasta, but my husband didn't tell me to cook for 4. We say that's fine and introduce ourselves. My coworker says, "Don't believe anything she says, it was on the calendar." And his wife says, "We don't have a calendar." What? We offer to leave and come back another time, crossing our fingers that they'll say yes, and somehow, they both tell us to stay, and that it just won't be a dinner party, but we can grab anything from the fridge. My friend and I end up splitting a bagged salad, and ask where the cups are so we can get some water. Coworker's wife says, "I feel bad for not cooking for everyone. I have some of a bottle of really great wine left. You two can split that if you want." We agree, and she brings out the bottle, and puts it on the table. There's probably less than 1 glass of wine left in the bottle, but my friend and I finish the bottle. My coworker has just been smoking outside, so he's not even in the room, and his wife goes back to finish cooking the pasta. My friend and I sit on the couch for close to 30 minutes. Our coworker isn't back inside yet, and his wife is still somehow in the other room. We have definitely finished the wine at this point. Finally, coworker comes back in, goes straight to the kitchen, asks his wife, "Have you been hiding in here the whole time?" And his wife says, "They don't like me." Finally he gets her to come back, and she has an empty wine glass. She goes to pour herself some of the wine from the bottle that was nearly empty when she told us to split it, and realizes it's empty. She says, "Did you finish this?" And we're stunned and say yes. She says, "Oh, I didn't realize you thought you could finish it." And because we're both very apologetic people, we start apologizing profusely. She looks at her husband, rolls her eyes, and says, "I swear, this is the last time you bring people like this into my house," and then leaves. He tells us she's going to bed, and that we really upset her, and then follows her to, I assume, their room. When he finally comes back, we tell him we really need to get going, and he starts crying, and asks him to please play Mario Kart with him for a little, because he's really upset. We feel bad for him, and do that for a while, and then finally get to leave. So this morning at work my coworker comes up to me and says, "I have bad news. My wife is divorcing me." Even though I really think that's a good idea, I'm shocked and sad for him. He tells me, "My wife told me to tell you that now you can have me all to yourself," which is crazy because I'm a lesbian, which he knows. He says that he told his wife I'm a lesbian, and she accused him of making it up, and accused me, through him, of finishing her wine because I knew it would be the last straw for her and would get her to leave him. I'm like, okay, I really can't deal with this and get back to work. And I also tell our HR person about it because I'm worried about him, but also not interested in being involved with this. Too long did not read. Today I was accused of getting my coworker's wife to divorce him by finishing the bottle of wine she told me I could finish, which was the last straw for her in their relationship. I'm stuck on Mario Kart. Those people sound like a couple of aliens pretending to be human. I hope HR is on your side with this situation. The fuck did I just read? Don't blame yourselves. This relationship had already ended before you walked into that house. What's almost spooky here is that I have had the exact same thing happen to me once. It was a red velvet cake in my case, and not wine, but other than that it was an identical experience, even down to the video game. GIF, Giphy DB12 Malo QB 99 BWDLM 83I. Today I fucked up by bringing up money talk during dinner with his parents. This happened a few nights ago, and I still want to crawl under the table just thinking about it. My boyfriend and I have been together for a while, and he finally invited me to dinner to meet his parents. Everything was going great, good food, nice wine, his mom showing me old family pictures. Then the topic of work and saving came up, and I accidentally said something like, "Yeah, I've been trying to be smart with money and make sure I protect what I've built." Instant silence. After a moment, his dad laughed and said, "Honestly, that's a good idea. A friend of mine who's a millionaire just did a prenup last month." His mom smiled and agreed. Meanwhile, my boyfriend looked like he was about to combust. He barely spoke the rest of the night, and on the drive home he said I made things too serious and weird for a first family dinner. I still don't think I said anything wrong, especially since his dad literally agreed with me. So yeah, today I fucked up by turning what was supposed to be a warm family dinner into a money talk his parents totally supported, and my boyfriend still hasn't forgiven me. Too long did not read. Met my boyfriend's parents for the first time, accidentally brought up money talk at dinner. What you said was completely normal and innocent. Protecting what you've built is not directed at him, rather a situation where you are trying to defend against bullshit purchases and expenses. Perhaps he is sensitive about for some reason. How'd you fuck that up? If you can't have a conversation with your partner about money, it doesn't bode well for your future with them. Money is a huge cause of relationship problems. I think I fucked up because I talked about an important subject, and I found out that my significant other doesn't like to talk about it. But I don't realize how important that ability is yet. His parents have been nagging him about his money for a long time. It sounds like you may have upstaged your boyfriend, a little bit, at least in his mind. He may not be as fiscally responsible as you, and it's probably a topic that his parents have brought up. But just to be clear, you aced that dinner, and let his parents know that you are a responsible adult who is self-sufficient. They may not see their son in the same light. You didn't do a damn thing wrong. If trying to protect yourself makes this young man angry, protect yourself by getting the fuck away from him. Edit, young not ting. You made no mistake. His parents will recognize that you are sensible about money. Besides, your boyfriend is not marrying you for your money, right? Is he good with money? I like what the dad said. He believes you are so responsible with earnings that you will probably be a millionaire someday.